I think, not sure yet how many we're going to do. Got a few people going, hey, let's do a best of on Friday, and I don't really want to argue with them at this point. I got to be honest with you. But I'm just getting texts, these group texts my family is in, you know. I was just up in Boston last weekend, 2 weekends ago. It's quite a haul. And my sister, she's the cookout queen. Tremendous entertainer. And now she's going to have it on the 4th. And I got a brother in Ohio. I got another sister in Philly. And they're all deciding who can come. And I haven't weighed in yet, but I'm just saying. Love my family and all, but I was just there. They can take about 8 minutes of me. I can take about 6 minutes of them. And yeah, you know how that is. It's a dangerous situation. How's it going? What the fuck was that noise? Sit still, will you, Tin Man? That's Andy Fiore, Andy Flowers, and Brendan Stipes, the phone caller. Right now he's on a phone. He's got the most serious look on his face, like he's actually talking to the Kremlin. He's working away in there. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know, but hey. I don't know how to make a restaurant. Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. Thought you get a bigger kick out of it, honestly. Wasn't very loud. Anyways, I don't know how to make a restaurant. How you doing, folks? All kinds of shit to talk about. First, let me thank my contributors to my podcast. And if you say, well, what's the podcast? It's the Nick Dipaolo podcast, and comes out on iTunes on Monday for free. If you want to subscribe, it's $3.99 a month, and then you get 3 to 4 more shows a week. And you go to connectpal.com/Nick, connectpal.com/Nick to sign up. And people are still signing up, and I appreciate that. Timmy Hewell has contributed. Christopher McKean. Dennis has contributed. Dennis Pamatuan also has contributed. Thank you, guys. Those are regular contributors financially. They contribute financially on top of their $3.99 a month. And I appreciate that because, again, I have a liver disorder, and the wife needs new shoes. This week we're going to have Anthony Cumia call in. I'd like to have him in, but, you know, he's persona non grata here, and I'm surprised they even let him call in. You'd think he actually killed a black person. I mean, come on, for crying out loud. All the shit he did for this, but then again, I have to side with my bosses, so I understand. It's a tough call. But we're going to have Anthony call in, and Noam Dworman, who is the owner of the Comedy Cellar, and one of my favorite people in the business. And he leans right in his politics, and he actually went to University of Pennsylvania. So, and whatever else. We might have some more surprises. If you miss anything, you can always catch up on demand. For all my dates, go to nickdip.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nick Dipaolo, blah, blah, blah. Live show update. Enough of this fucking horse shit. Why doesn't this stuff all go away? Meet me at my house on Tuesday. We'll have beers and talk about my schedule. If you want to follow the show live, at Dipaolo Show SXM. Enough of that. Well, what's in the news today? We can, I'll give you a choice. We can start with the college professor who said that kid who came back from North Korea brain dead got what he deserved. She's a piece of ass, by the way. I Googled her. Like to put a fucking bullet in her fucking manly face. Also, the court partly reinstates President Trump's travel ban. So yay for him. And boo for CNN. And here's a story, Andy, you might be interested in. Enjoying regular sex can help prevent heart disease.
That's not good for me.
That's not good for you? Well, I think you're including jerking off, so you might be all right. And then our buddy Pete Dominic. You know Pete Dominic. He has a show here and pretends to be a stand-up comedian. And, no, he's a good guy, I guess. Call me a fucking racist. I'm calling him a good guy. But anyways, I guess Rush Limbaugh called him out on his radio show. Pete was doing an interview on HLN, which is a direct TV channel. And Rush Limbaugh called him out on Pete's baloney. And Pete's very happy about it. It's the biggest thing on his resume. And what else did I want to talk? Tim Tebow's playing in the minor leagues, and he's playing at some game in South Carolina. And, of course, they had to make fun of him. The opposing mascot and the guy on the PA system was playing Hallelujah every time. You know, because he's a Christian white male, and it's open season, even though we're not the ones lopping off heads. And by the way, I'm not that religious. I call myself a Christian. Technically, I am. But and also, CNN, are you still watching CNN? If you are, you're part of the problem. You're just a big liar yourself. They get caught with more fake news horse shit. And even the critic that works for CNN, every news organization has like a media critic of their own to sort of keep an eye on their own network. They won't even tell him what's going on. So CNN is full of shit. Trump was right about all of it. He's right most of the time when he's not, getting a little nuts on the tweets. But that's the truth of it. But this college professor, why don't we start there? We never got an update on Johnny Eric Williams, the professor at Trinity. That guy that said all white people should die and blah, blah, blah. We didn't get an update on him. You know why we can't find an update on him? Because he probably still has a job. I'm just guessing. That's why you can't get an update. Let's say, just grab any conservative. It's very hard to, let's say George Will said that about a black student or black people. I don't know. You think you could find that on CNN or ABC, CBS, New York Times? Mother of God. 866-969-1969. 866-969-1969 is the phone number. And, that poor kid that came back, I'm calling him a kid, a young man, Otto Warmbier, the American student, who got caught, lifting a poster off a wall in Shitville, North Korea. And, you know the story. He was in prison, hard labor for a while, and they sent him back, and basically brain dead, and then he died a few days later. Well, those goddamn North Koreans, huh? Every time I see Kim Jong-un, the Shemp Howard of that area, I always think of this.
Mr. Earl, I was supposed to be allowed to inspect your palace today, and your guards won't let me into certain areas.
Hans, we've been through this a dozen times. I don't have any weapons of mass destruction, okay, Hans?
Then let me look around so I can ease the UN's collective mind.
Hans, you're breaking my balls here, Hans. You're breaking my balls.
I'm sorry, but the UN must be firm with you. Let me see your whole palace, or else.
Or else what?
I can't help but think of this. Every time I see that
we will be very,
chubby
very
shithead
angry with you, and we will write you a letter telling you how angry we are.
There you go, Hans Briggs. How you like that, you fucking cocksucker? You have any idea how fucking busy I am, Hans Briggs? Well, fuck you. You want inspection? Well, inspect that, you butt fucking piece of shit.
That clip shows the respect that we should have for North Korea and its leaders. That's right, the over-the-top, stereotypical Asian accent. That's exactly. Any reason? There's nothing on the screens. Usually, by this point, are there any technical difficulties? I see guys in there with Brendan with concerned looks on their faces, like they just found a premature baby under the seat. Anything? Can you just ask him? I'm just curious.
He's working. He's got his own issue, but it doesn't.
Oh, it has nothing to do with the phones?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Maybe somebody dropped that. What's that thing that's going to destroy the grid? You don't know? Okay, you'll find out. You'll find out when you go to the fridge and your fucking milk is cheese and your parents' dialysis machine cut off. You'll. Anyways, why did I play that? Oh, because the college professor was commenting on Otto Warmbier, the poor kid. This broad/man, an adjunct anthropology professor at the University of Delaware, she drew some anger by criticizing Otto, the American college student who died when he got back here. Her name is Catherine Detweiler. If you want to Google her, she's a real piece of ass. She looks like a third base coach for every team in the MLB. The Arizona Diamondbacks. Just another, I don't know how to describe her, but again, no guy was attracted to her and probably no girls wanted to hang out with her. So, what?
She's a frump.
Frump? That's being fucking generous. What, do you shit me? A frump is a 10 next to this fucking man. Fucking, what a horrible Catherine Twatweiler who, oh God, I'm furious. Just looking at her, I want to reach through the screen and choke her. She's not going to be rehired at the University of Delaware. You know why? She had some comments about Otto Warmbier. Detweiler said in a since-deleted Facebook message and comment on an article about the late college student on the website of conservative magazine The National Review that Otto Warmbier got exactly what he deserved. I'll repeat that. He got exactly what he deserved. He said, she said, or both. He went on to North Korea, for fuck's sake. He went to North Korea, for fuck's sake, and then acted like a spoiled, naive, arrogant U.S. college student who had never had to face the consequences of his action. Detweiler. I see him crying at his sentencing hearing and thinking, what did you expect? She also added, how about a few moments of thought given to all the other people in North Korea who are suffering under the repressive government there? Just because they are North Koreans and not U.S. citizens, we shouldn't care about them?
You stupid fucking blabbermouth cunt!
See, because she didn't fit in to the mainstream in this country, because she's a bit of a biological aberration, her instincts to naturally take it out on a young, good-looking white guy, because that's her arch enemy. It's in her DNA to hate that guy, and she'd rather have sympathy for people that she's never met in fucking North Korea. So, I mean, how deep does the fucking hate run for the far left? And how did she get a job in the first place? These people don't just turn fucking radical when they get there on the campus. They have a resume. But you hire him anyways. So he deserves to be dead because he was a rich white guy who would never touch me sexually, or it just... We should care more about the North Korean citizens. That's more important. No, we shouldn't. Actually, we can have sympathy for him and try to help him out. And yes, Kim Jong-un and his whole family is psychopaths. We already fucking know all that. But, you know, in her world, it's all the same, which it isn't. But keep it up. I'm glad you get fired. Now go do what you really want to do. Coach a girls' softball team. And flick your bean till you fall asleep. Or your dick. Whatever you got. But you're a hateful fucking bitch, and I'm calling you out on it. Same as Johnny Eric Williams. Haven't got an update on him. We haven't got an update on him, the guy, the professor at Trinity College who said all white people should be, you know, fucking dead. I'm paraphrasing. It was much meaner than that and much more eloquent. But we can't get an update on him. Why is that? Because he wasn't a conservative professor saying it about black people? Imagine if that was the case. Let's say the guy at DeVry, let's say the guy who teaches air conditioning and ventilation at DeVry said something. You would turn on CNN, New York Times, ABC, round the clock coverage of somebody white that said such thing. But it's unbelievable. I want somebody to put up there. I want a picture of every professor at every college in this country. I just want to look at them and tell you which ones. The ones, you know. I noticed this woman has a haircut like me. What does that got to do with it? It's got everything to do with it. It's why she hates this country. She didn't fit in. And she went after the easiest. Can you imagine saying that? Let's say a WNBA player, a gay woman, went over to Korea and something similar happened, and she came back brain dead. And I went, hey, who cares? Titless, flat-ass bitch. Who cares? That's the equivalent of what she's saying. It's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. 866-969-1969. Hans Bricks. Let's play this song for, what's her name, Detweiler? Let's play a little song for her. This goes out to Catherine Detweiler. By the way, it says in the article, she's a breastfeeding expert. Isn't that funny? Isn't that ironic? I got it where you told me. Detweiler. Here come no tits. It's a nice square jawbone. Hateful lesbian. All right.
You smug cocksucker. Fuck you.
No, fuck you, Mrs. Detweiler. Imagine saying that. That kid's parents have to read that shit. I hope when she's walking dogs in the park, because that's what they do, a lot of them. Who's they? You know what I'm talking about. I hope she gets attacked in the park by a pit bull from the Bronx that has Hep C. Bites her right on her flat ass. Yeah. Nick's fascination with race. Alex from Boston says, "Yeah, let's listen to this liberal goop." Alex, hello.
Hey, I have a flat ass too. I really do. I'm always so embarrassed in jeans. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I know my ass is concave.
Well,
how dare you,
Alex? You can get it. There's an operation for that. You know, a lot of white broads do it. Yeah, the doctor takes a cantaloupe, cuts it down the middle, and sews it to each ass cheek.
Ooh, I can have somebody eat my ass. Nick, love the channel, love the show.
Yeah, get to it, will you?
I'm just curious, and it's not a hateful comment that I have or a question. It's just I'm just curious about the fascination that you have with race and gender. It just seems like everything comes back to what the race of the person that made the comment, or what the gender is.
Yes.
I'm just curious what the fascination is.
Well, my fascination is with people, not maybe you, I don't know how you think, but with like CNN and ABC and the people that run Hollywood's fascination with race is. You're not going to tell me, Alex, it's not a double standard. If a conservative guy said something like this about a black person, I would have to hunt on the internet to up, like the professor at Trinity I'm talking about can barely get an update on that. If that guy was a white professor and said that about black people, you think it would be hard to find that story, or it would be all over CNN, the New York Times for the next 3 weeks? That's all. So I am fascinated. It's a reaction to their absolute.
I gotcha.
You know what I mean? So you're kind of right, but it doesn't come from nowhere.
I understand. I understand it's a comedy show, and everything, and you got to take everything, tongue in cheek.
No,
but no, I was really curious. I mean, I've been listening to you for the past 2-3 weeks, I guess. Yeah. Coming home from work, So now that was my question. So it's almost like you don't have the issue with the person in the news article.
That's true. That's true.
The professor. I guess your
macro
anger comes from the coverage or the lack of coverage, is what you're saying.
Well, and the double standard that
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. In gender, I mean, come on. Can you?
All right.
This whole idea, there's no difference. The only differences between men and women is socially constructed. It's a crock of shit, in my opinion.
I was just curious, but I will say, please keep our flat asses out of your conversations, please. All
right, Alex. Good call. Thank you. But I'm telling you now. See, that was like my favorite call so far since we've been on the air, because he does make it good. But yeah, I'm fascinated, and if you're not fascinated for different reasons, he probably doesn't see this. A lot of people. I had to point out to a lot of people about how white men are portrayed in TV and in commercials and stuff. And it's not my fucking imagination. Because when I brought it up years ago, the phones lit up on Opie and Anthony. And it's like a well-kept secret. They're not very overt about it. The people who do this shit, they're very slick in their presentation, should I say. But this goes way back to the 80s. I used to... just watch the movie Philadelphia. Just watch you want to see the most politically correct movie ever with Tom Hanks about AIDS, and remember he's a lawyer, he gets AIDS. Just watch how old white guys are portrayed like lawyer. It's any movie from the 80s. And I'm not the only one that feels this way, unless you still have your head up your ass and you can't pick up on and it's spilling into real life. Art is imitating, life is imitating art, or vice versa, however. But you can't tell me the hatred for white males, it's palpable now. And it's not just in movies and sitcoms and stuff, it's on college campuses. And I think I stand by my comments. But he's right. I'm more fascinated with the bigger picture. I call it the macro than the micro. But, Let's go to Mark in New York on line 3. Mark, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you, Nick?
Pretty good, thank you.
I just wanted to say that, I know what you're saying about Miss Detweiler, and I think the way she explained herself was wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that you have to realize when you leave this country,
yep,
you're not protected by America anymore. I'm a former Marine. I retired in 1995, and I'm older now, and I tell my children that travel that when you go to a different country, you're not going to have a slap on the wrist. You have to watch where you are, know your surroundings, and know who you are, and know that being American, you have a target on your back.
No.
So if you go to a place like North Korea and you start tearing things off the walls, it's not going to be a slap on the wrist, and your parents are going to come pick you up. You have to stand by what you did. And I think that what happened is horrible, and I think the way she said it was horrible, and I don't agree with us having to worry about the Korean people. But, the whole point itself is he put himself in that position, he made a mistake, and the situation he was in, he created. And that was terrible that it happened, but if he had a little knowledge before he went there, he probably would have been much better off.
No, and I agree with 99% of that. But she's saying he got what he deserved. That was her quote. So that's where she's full of fucking shit.
Yeah, I think that was a little harsh.
Yeah.
I think he created the situation, but I think what Americans, and you were talking about Americans and how Americans are portrayed in general.
Right.
I've seen it myself when I was in the service. They go to different countries, and they think that because I'm American, they can't touch me, and that's just not true.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's got nothing to do with him being a spoiled white kid. If this was a fat lesbian chick, she wouldn't have said that. How about that?
You have a point there.
If she was a sergeant in the Marines named Karen. Hey, Mark, thanks for your service. My dad was a Marine, too. Is a Marine. So. Thanks for the call.
My dad, too. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Good point. Absolutely. You have to be careful. And we are spoiled and stuff. But that's not the problem with her statement. He deserved it. Rich white kid. She wouldn't have said it if it was a woman or a lesbian or LGBT, transgender. It goes deeper than that. God, did it piss me off. Piss me the hell off. Now, she got canned, and I heard the University of Texas is picking her up. They think maybe as a defensive tackle. I'm not upset. How can't you? If you're a straight white male, how can't you? Unless you're just a little lackadaisical. And again, I'm a comic. I have time to pay attention to this, but that doesn't make it any less legit. Mark in Phoenix, where it's 171 degrees Kelvin. Mark.
No, it's 172. But actually, hey, I love the show, Nick.
Thanks, Mark.
I've been listening to you since I heard you on Wilcow, and I think it's the greatest thing that I've heard since I don't know when. And I'm telling you, whatever goes on I'm a retired deputy sheriff, California.
There you go.
29 years.
Well, thank you for your service.
And I listen to this bullshit that comes out of this stuff, and it just drives me insane. And I don't understand how in the hell any normal person can look at the facts and not come to a conclusion that this is the most upside-down, ass-backwards crap we're looking at in our whole lives.
Right. As far as what's going on in our country today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
Because, anybody with an open mind, and the thing that I love about some of the people that call in, the other comics and the other people that you have known, and they say, I don't like your politics, but you're a great guy.
I know.
And, I love your politics. There isn't one thing that you said that I don't disagree with. But I can see how other people would say that, and I've never heard that before. It's like you're hateful, you're this and that, and come on, man, why can't we just all get along?
Yeah, that you hear that a lot. I don't agree with any of your politics, and I feel like saying stop there. But I love your comedy. Well, they're not.
Keep an open mind, man.
It's like they're not mutually exclusive. My inner thoughts and my comedy spill out, and a lot of my comedy comes obviously reacting to society and the world that surrounds me. So you have to agree with some of it. They're like, I don't agree with any. Really? So you're
bullshit.
It really.
Come on, let's just be honest. I mean, come on, anybody with an open mind. And you got to have an open mind to look at it. Well, if you look at these other the ABC networks or whatever, nobody who watches that shit anymore.
I know. I
mean,
know.
they are so over the top. Goddamn! I mean, holy smoke! Not this Fox News. That's the thing Obama said. Fox News.
Yeah.
Fox News is against me. There's a lot of liberal, kind of left-leaning kind of people on Fox News.
I know.
That's fair and balanced, quote unquote. And it is, for the most part. I was watching Gutfeld the other night. Oh, my God, I fell out of my chair. It was so funny.
Yeah, well.
I don't know if you had a chance to see that.
I was...
That last show that Gutfeld just did, the last, Friday?
Yeah.
Saturday, whenever the guy's on. Oh, my God, it was hilarious. The wrestler guy just blows my mind.
Yeah,
that guy he's hilarious.
All right, Mark, I'm up against a break here, but thank you for your service. Imagine being a sheriff out there. They're saying the paint is literally boiling and stuff out there. Like shit's burning up. It's so hot. But you don't have to love I'm not saying you have to agree on politics completely, but to say I don't agree with any of it, really? You're not for fucking protecting the borders and because that's all I'm for. Tiny government. You want more tax? Want more people on the fucking dole and shit? What do you really think we're all going to hold hands and live in one world? Get off that shit. It's fucking silly. But let's talk more about this since the phones are lighting up. When we come back, we will discuss more about, these college professors that say this stuff. And if anybody out there can get me a update on Johnny Eric Williams, is that his name? Johnny Eric Williams, Trinity College professor, black racist professor. Because it's very hard to find. Like I said, it's very hard to get an update on that. But I'd like to hear from you. 866-969-1969. Back after this. Welcome back. 866-969-1969, the phone number. We were talking about the professor at Delaware, who's no longer a professor, Catherine Detweiler. She's a breastfeeding expert. Now, how do you become an expert at that? First of all, she's got no tits to speak of. I'd say I know more about breastfeeding because I tend to watch women breastfeed when I'm at the mall and on planes and shit. Very fascinating. Unless they're fat and ugly. But, that's, come on, who hasn't watched a lady breastfeed and you're like, I'm obsessed with tits and I'm sure she is too. But she's hateful and so is Johnny Eric Williams and a zillion other professors. Hey, speaking of tits, I guess I'll play a bit about tits from Inflammatory, my last special. It's called Tit Obsession. This ought to kill a few minutes. She goes, what? My wife asked me that. That goes out to Catherine Detweiler, former professor at the University of Delaware. That included everything you love. Penises and titties and dead Americans. Everything that every college professor loves. Steve in the Bronx, line 4. Welcome to the show, Stevie boy.
Nicky Dip. How you doing, my friend? I love it.
I'm hanging in there. How you doing?
Good. Doing good. 35-year-old red-blooded American. I just want to say one thing. Yeah. I like big tits, Nicky. Keep them coming. Keep them bouncing and swinging.
Yeah, me too.
Free the tit.
Yeah, I'm with that movement. It's the one time I do agree with the feminists that they should be able to walk around shirtless. I actually think they can in New York legally, can't they?
Mm-hmm.
So go after it, Rosie O'Donnell. Get on that city bike and head down Broadway with those pancake-like the teeth marks in it from a pit bull. And, we all say, yeah, they should. We'd love to see that. But nah, most of them you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Because it's not like every girl you look at is hot. It's usually about 1 in about 31. You know what I mean? Okay, 1 in 17. All right, I'm 55. 1 in 6. All righty. 1 out of 2. I saw Bill Clinton today. He's at the Statue of Liberty trying to look up her skirt. Swear to God, what a filthy rapist. What? You heard me. I'm like the fucking nutty professor over here. Can't find my glasses. Call in, folks. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. Little good news today if you're a Trump fan. Or maybe you're not a Trump fan. All right, but... They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming, but not as many are coming. The court partly reinstates Trump travel ban. Fall argument set. Not today, but soon. Supreme Court's letting a limited version of the Trump administration ban on travel from 6 mostly Muslim countries to take effect. Yeah. Boy, the libs must be going crazy. The court said, who's going to push the fucking kebab trucks up the street and block traffic here? The court said Monday the ban on visitors from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen could be enforced as long as they lack a credible claim of a bona fide relationship with a person or entity in the United States. Which sounds fair to me. Sorry. You can get into your constitutional horseshit, but if Dershowitz says it's legal, it's friggin' legal. Guy's never wrong. So Trump said last week that the ban would take effect 72 hours after being cleared by courts. The Trump administration said the 90-day ban was needed to allow an internal review of the screening procedures for visa applicants from those countries. In other words, we just want to keep out the scum. You know, it's 6 countries and a lot of bad shit goes on there. He's just looking out for us. I know how horrible that is, and let's pretend it's racist and everything, and let's give up all our security in the name of fairness and political correctness. Kiss my grits. The review should be complete before October 2nd, the first day justices could hear arguments in the new term. The 120-day ban on refugees also being allowed to take effect on a limited basis. 3 of the court's conservative justices said they would have let the complete bans take effect. Clarence Thomas, joined by Alito and Gorsuch, said the government has shown it's likely to succeed on the merits of the case and that it will suffer irreparable harm with any interference. Clarence Thomas said the government's interest in preserving national security outweighs any hardship to people denied into the country. Fucking men. And everybody on the left's going to go, that Uncle Tom, motherfucker. I'm not saying it, Brendan. Don't get shocked to me. These are your people. The people that you voted with, not me. I love watching Brendan through the window there. Do you think it's a good thing, folks, or is this racist and it's going to hurt us because we need all these people over here, these smart people, too many dummies in America. But anyhow, so they're going to argue that in the fall. Trump is winning a lot right now. A lot of arguments. CNN. But let me just read. This is from the federal immigration law. This is how I knew. And every other lawyer on TV, when this was a big stink, remember when he did it and it was all chaos at the airports? But this right here, This a federal immigration law I'm about to read. The exclusion of aliens is a fundamental act of sovereignty inherent in the executive power. The Supreme Court said that in 1950. Unless there be doubt, Congress adopted provisions in 1952 saying the president, and this is in quotes, may by proclamation and for such period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens and any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants whenever he thinks, and this is in quotes, it would be detrimental to the interests of the United States. Boy, you don't get much clearer than that, do you? Yeah, but he said stuff during the election, like he said a Muslim ban on all Muslims. And then there was that, he had a conversation with Giuliani saying, how do I make this sound legal or something, remember? So that's all the shit that and those appeals courts came at him with that crap. But we all know in the end. Didn't we? Maybe we didn't. I was hoping. How can you look at Europe and what's going on over there and then the refugee situation and just go, yeah, we'll fucking just do what they're doing. It seems to be working out fine. I'd like to lose an arm while I'm shopping for grapes in the morning at a market. 866-969-1969. Call me if you're for it or against it. I don't give a rat's ass. Mike in New York. Welcome to the show, Mike.
How's it going, Nick? I heard you talking about you might go on the specialist next week soon. Is that going to happen? Because I don't know if that's a great idea. We need you. You can't say thick ankle dog face on Fox. I mean, you'll be gone, and what are they going to do?
No, you make a good point, Mike. Yes, Miss Timpf got a hold of me. I gave her a couple dates. Haven't heard back. Heard back on one, but it was already taken, so I gave her a couple more. No, I know how to temper my act and stuff. And I got comfortable on Gutfeld's show because I, done Gutfeld's show many times, whether it was Red Eye or the new show. And the last time I was on, I just felt like speaking my mind. But you make a good point. It's hard, it's Fox News Channel. It's hard to say anything. It's a brand name, and if you're a comedian and you say anything slightly off color, you'll end up on the Rachel Maddow's lap.
I'm kind of joking, but for real, we need you on the radio at least just to get these points out, because even I noticed CNN actually said they're changing their policy on how they talk about Russia. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, I'm going to get to that in a little while.
Yeah, slowly but surely, I know it's going to be a two-party system and people aren't going to like Trump, but I'm noticing even Facebook posts, when people used to post stuff and get 20 likes, now these dumb people are getting 3 or 4 from their weird relatives. Yeah, I agree with you, but they're losing steam. And I think it's happening slowly, and we just need a voice, at least for now, and then hopefully in the future to keep it going.
Okay, but I wasn't going to go become a regular on that show.
No, I know that. I'm just saying. What I'm saying is because we don't want you to get in trouble here. So if you get in trouble there, then it might lead to that. But just that voice, it's kind of joking, obviously, but it's just crazy. What I'm saying is we want you on the radio and to keep the faith.
Yes. No, I want to be on the radio. But
and that's Fox. You can't say thick ankle dog face on Fox. That's all I'm saying.
No,
but we love it. Yeah.
No, you're right, actually. But I'll think of something just as mean.
Oh, please, thank you.
All right, thanks, Mike. I was in the woods of Westchester. That's what I do on the weekends up where I live. There's a hiking trail up there, and I did see the thick ankle dog face. And again, she was squatting behind a redwood and peepeeing. Okay, it was a pine tree. No redwoods in this area. I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to make a woods. I don't know how to make a woods. They're coming to America.
No, not this fucking time. No fucking way, mate.
They're coming to America.
No. They're
coming to America today.
No, not this fucking time. No fucking way.
Yeah. Anyhow. But the clause I just read, didn't that pretty much clear it up? He's got that kind of juice. We understand, folks. We need immigrants here. We need smart ones. I always say the Asians and the Indians, they're the future of the country. And you know why? Because they don't, like Colin Quinn said, he's an expert on a lot of the shit, but he made a good point. They don't take it for granted, this country, and what they can achieve here, like the rest of us. We sort of take it for granted, but people do come here. You need those, what are they, B1 visas or whatever? You need the smart Indians. And I won't go to a doctor who's not Asian or Indian. I have yet to go to an Italian doctor. Oh, Jewish, too. I love the Jewish doctors. Jewish, Indian, Asian, I feel good about. I walk in, if I see Tom Smith, I go, you probably went to Cornell and you smoke pot. You don't know much. Let's go to Dale in line 1. He doesn't think it should be a big deal, the band. Dale, how are you?
Nick, what's going on, dude? Love the show.
Thank you, brother.
Well, listen, the reason you're talking about this, and what really makes me nervous about the left, and you're talking about these places where it's banned, a travel ban, and everyone's like, oh, it's about the Muslim community. Right. It's not. And I'm going to use an example from when I was 20 years old in New Jersey.
Yep.
They're like, it's not about being a Muslim. It's like, these are countries where you can come from Japan, Australia, no matter where you want. Hey, I'm in this country. Give me a passport. I'm going to go to America and do whatever I want. Okay, here you go. And Obama was the first to bring this up. Like, these countries are a problem because they have no organized, registration. Where it'd be like, at least when you come to Newark Airport, they're like, okay, red flag. When I was 20 years old, this is before 9/11.
Right.
And 9/11, a couple of the terrorists had New Jersey IDs. Nick, I was the only one of my friends who was 20 going into that summer when they were all 21.
Yeah.
I was like, bullshit, I'm going to the Jersey Shore this year. And I grabbed my friend's birth certificate. That's all I had. I went into the DMV, $5, got his ID. I'm not going to say what it is. And that's it. All I just want to do is drink. But I was just like, that's how easy it is.
Come on, tell us who it is. Come on, tell us who. Come on, Dale.
No, I can't. No, I can't. Because, actually, Nick, I'll tell you a funny story. Later that summer, I lost my wallet with the fake ID. I'm like, dude, please, can you give it to me again? But I swear to God. But that's what I'm saying, that these countries are like, they could go there and be like, okay, yeah, I'm here. Hey, want an ID? All right, here you go. Go to New York. Go to Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's my point.
Yeah, no, there's a whole cottage industry over there. They churn out U.S. passports over there, unbelievably lifelike and stuff. It's crazy. It is crazy. I mean, when you hear who said it? I don't know. It was the head of Homeland Security said, I can't sleep at night knowing the stuff I know. He said, if you know the stuff I know, you wouldn't sleep. I mean, when you hear shit like that, it's a matter of time, man. But thank you. Thanks, Dale. It's unbelievable. This obsession with hurting people's feelings and Trump didn't help. He was clumsy with his words during, I, Donald J. Trump, gonna ban anybody with a chin-strap beard and a silly hat. But, he was a little clumsy with his language. But like I said, anybody who knows the law, and I watch the guys, the Alan Dershowitz of the world and stuff, and almost every one of them said, he's going to be, in the end, he'll be right about this. Because the president has inherent powers when it comes to keeping people who may, cause potential damage. He can call out anybody. Mohammed in Toronto. Mohammed, how are you?
Not too bad. How about you, Nick?
I'm doing pretty good, pal.
Yeah, so just wanted to call in. I've been listening to your show for the last few days.
Yeah.
And, I guess I kind of agree with you. Being a Muslim, I live in Canada. I came to this country for a better future for myself. And I do agree that you can't just keep taking unwanted people and expect them to do something better for their country. Because, here in Canada, we just took about 40,000 Syrian refugees.
Yep.
I mean, what do you think now in the next 10 years? What are they going to produce? I don't know. And I'm a person who's experienced, profiling, you can say firsthand.
Right.
Like a month ago, I was in Connecticut, and I was escorted from my car down in there into a locked room for about 2 hours to search my luggage and search everything.
Okay.
And this has happened to me over and over again every single time I travel.
Yeah. I don't know.
But again.
Yeah, well, I don't know why that makes me feel good. No. I've been searched. You should, it's funny. My ID, if you look at my license, I'm not as, it's hilarious. I look like I'm from Yemen on my license. It's almost when I hand it to them, it's like, check me out. But yeah, no, that's going to happen, Mohammed. And yeah, that's an inconvenience, but we have to put the security of our country ahead of you being inconvenienced every time you go to the airport.
Exactly, and that's why I don't stick him, because, like you said, I don't want to go to buy grapes in the morning and come back with a missing arm. You know? I like my limbs where they are.
I love it. Wait, Mohammed, where do you live? Toronto? Toronto?
Yeah, Toronto, Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty... Toronto's a lot like New York, very multicultural, and yeah, it's I mean, this is the world we live in right now. You got to be smart about it, and this. I don't know how it is in Canada. Well, I do know. I know it's crazy politically correct in Canada too when it comes to certain speech codes and stuff. But
even when you go to all these trans issues, you can't say anything.
You can't, huh?
You will be put on a poster for the next week and a half on the news because you said something stupid.
Right. So, all right, Mohammed. Well, I suggest dyeing your hair blonde and, wearing a, I don't know, an Argonauts T-shirt. Just look as American as you can.
Yeah, I bought
Canadian,
high shorts and some boarding shoes, and I think I'm trying to fit in.
Yeah, there you go. A polo shirt, a shitty polo shirt, and some Docker shoes. Get some nice pleated khakis. Dye your hair blonde, and you'll be just fine. Thank you, Mohammed, for the call.
All right.
Appreciate it. Now, you guys might think I'm painting with a broad brush, but I would profile anybody with the name Mohammed.
Durka Allah, Muhammad Jihad.
Team America. Folks, if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor. Go out and watch Team America. That even offends me. They go over the top so much to make it offensive. I'm actually getting like Muhammad Jihad. Oh, God, help us. I'm telling you. Chris in Rochester. I think he's a regular, isn't he? Chris.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good. How you doing, pal?
I'm all right, thanks. You do got a bit of a Muhammad Atta look to you.
Do I ever?
If I didn't hear that Guinea voice come out of your mouth, boy, I would really hate to sit next to your fat ass on an airplane. I'll tell you that.
Well,
right
there's
now.
nothing fat about my ass. I'm in good shape for a guy my age. A lot of people tell me I got a sweet ass.
I meant to say thick cock. I apologize. Listen, I'm a bit of a moderate.
Yeah.
I tend to fall on the conservative side with things.
Yeah.
But I guess my whole issue with this thing is everybody's saying that he can't put this ban in place because it discriminates against Muslim nations. Now, are there any nations on this in this world that identify as Christian nations?
I don't know.
Right. See, you're right.
Absolutely.
And there's one self-identifying Jewish nation.
Yes.
So
and that's Hollywood.
Jesus. For a country to not be banned from immigrants coming to the United States, why don't they just identify themselves as having a state-sponsored religion, and then it can never, ever be banned by the United States? But that's the other issue is the Constitution of the United States is what
it applies to us. Yes, it applies to us, not them.
Right. So I don't understand. Nobody seems to be mentioning that the Constitution doesn't cover countries like Iran and Syria.
That's right.
That's just what bothers me is it's so cut and dry, the language here, but yet there's just so much bitching and moaning about it that we're at this place where we are.
Right.
And you know damn well the Supreme Court's going to allow him to uphold this ban regardless of what he said during the campaign. He said what he said during the campaign. He didn't think he was going to get elected, Nick. Let's be honest.
No.
Nobody thought he was going to get elected, and neither did he. So
you're probably right. But you say, how did we get to where we are now? Well, because of the mainstream media muddying the waters, the CNNs working around the clock to saying that's unconstitutional, and the NBC. And again, if the fucking libs didn't have the media, the mainstream media, you guys would never win a fucking election ever.
Yeah. Well, that's just a biased viewpoint, though, Nick, if you ever try to tell anybody that.
I know. All right, Chris.
My mother keeps saying, they're going to impeach Trump. And I'm like, for what, Mom? What has he done? And she's like, well, the Russian thing. I'm like, you wouldn't know about any of this shit if you didn't watch CNN, Ma.
Yes,
Jesus,
tell your mom
to. Your ass, you freaking Pollock. All right, buddy, take it easy.
See you,
Loving the show.
Take it easy. He sounds like a Massachusetts guy, his attitude. Up in Syracuse. Probably is. Probably lying about both. I fucking love that. He just called his mother a Pollock. What kind of talk is that? But you really should stop watching CNN. You'd think once you found out that they helped try to rig the election against Bernie, you might shut it off. We should talk about Pete Dominic when we get back to our buddy. That guy, I've been giving him many shots, but I'm really getting frustrated. 866-969-1969. Back after this. That's right, song parodies right here on the Nick Dipaolo Show. 866-969-1969. I don't know. Like I said, one of my last statements of the last segment was, yeah, I swear to God, the Democrat Party would never win an election if you didn't have the mainstream media shouting your horseshit fucking lies year after year. So, I'll say it again. Somebody tell me where CNN practices softball. I'll load up on the third base side as Wolf Blitz is trying to turn a double play, throwing like a bitch that he is. I'll put one right in his gray beard. Not a bullet. A rubber bullet. I'm not like the left. I don't kill people. Just something that'll sting them. Don't you love when you're at the airport and CNN, it's yapping away. Nobody's listening to it. Even people who watch at home aren't even listening. They're busy. They're trying to read a book or a paper. It's just yapping away. It's right in your ear. It's brain. Tainting your subconscious before you get on that plane. Speaking of planes, did you hear that story? The plane started shaking for like 90 minutes and the pilot comes on over the weekend. Did you hear this? I don't know, but the pilot comes on and tells the people to pray. That's what you want to hear, huh? Holy shit. Not buckle up or put your seatbelts, make sure your seatbelt. Time for a couple hour fathers. That's what you want to hear from Captain John. Are you kidding me? And you can't bust into the cockpit and go, what the fuck are you talking about? Because they've reinforced the door. I've tried it. Hurt my shoulder on a Delta flight. Couldn't get in there. And start hiring stewardesses under 68, will you? Somebody who doesn't have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis and varicose veins in their legs with a shitty attitude. Huh? Ask for a fucking Diet Coke. Broad looks at me like her husband invented Pepsi. Get the puss off your face. What? 866-969-1969. But the mainstream media, it's really, I can't believe anybody watches any of it. Anyway.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Excuse me.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Yeah. Finally getting called on it. Finally. Over the weekend. All kinds of big scandal at CNN. They found that Donna Brazile likes men. What? She doesn't even work there anymore. But they mishandled a very fake news story. They did a hit piece on Trump and his associates, and it grew bigger and bigger on Sunday night as President Jeff Zucker. By the way, Jeff Zucker, I have mixed feelings about Jeff Zucker. I'll tell you why. Nick, why do you feel mixed about him? Well, I met him. If you guys like the show Tough Crowd, it was originally called The Colin Quinn Show, and it was live on NBC. We did it right where they shoot SNL, same soundstage, everything. And Jeff Zucker's a guy who I think gave it the green light, but he also gave it the heave-ho, too. So I think he was responsible for both. He was at NBC. He was the big wheel then. But I remember standing next to him and actually like chatting with him, saying thanks and you know what I mean? And he was saying how he's a big fan of Colin Quinn's and stuff. So I got to give him that much. And then I got canceled. I circled his house for 2 days in my car with all kinds of ammunition. No. I just said I had mixed feelings about him. But, yeah, he's the president. And the public relations teams at CNN, they're refusing to comment to anyone, even to CNN media reporter Brian Stelter about what happened. And Stelter credited a Breitbart news investigation. You know, Breitbart, that's so far right-wing website that's so full of shit. Now you get a guy from CNN actually complimenting him. Oh, boy. See that? Bad week for the fucking left, huh? Ming. Credited a Breitbart news investigation with forcing what he admitted is an embarrassing retraction for his employer on CNN. On Friday evening, he said, CNN.com fully retracted a story after questions were raised about the accuracy of the reporting and sourcing, Stelter wrote. And this is what it was about. The piece inaccurately alleged that Scaramucci, he's a friend of Trump's, and Schwartzman were under investigation by the Senate Intelligence Committee and the Treasury Department for supposed ties to what is actually a completely normal Russian investment fund. It turns out that not only is the Senate Intelligence Committee not investigating the matter, as Breitbart News discovered from sources close to Senate GOP leadership, but the Treasury Department looked into the matter and determined unfounded allegations that originated with far left-wing, get this, Senator Elizabeth Warren were without merit. You know Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts? The big goofy fucking... So, not only is she ugly and 6'8" and a good power forward, she's spreading fucking lies, trying to bring down Trump. You're finished, woman / fella. Oh, Andy, what the fuck you... Flowers is in the corner burping up shit. Just...
I turned my mic off.
Turn your mic off. It was like a bass. I could feel the bass. It almost set off my pacemaker.
I got a little indigestion.
So, the point is, they were spreading a false story. They had to retract it. And Stelter, who works at CNN, was asking CNN, his company, if he could get a take on this so he could report, and they won't even talk to him. And you guys are still watching. And everybody talks about Fox News. We have it. I have it. We have That was pretty good, wasn't it?
That was perfect.
We have it. We have it.
You are fake news.
We have it.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
Quit watching them. Nobody likes them. They have zero credibility. Although Erin Burnett's kind of cute. Give the network to her. Insiders have blamed, Elizabeth Warren's staff and the staff of Senator Kamala Harris. Oh, she's a Democrat from California, for pushing the very fake news to CNN. Something CNN has not denied, nor has Warren's staff. She's not even denying it. This 6'8" creep. You can go to the hoop. She's not even denying it. That's my home state of Massachusetts. Who voted her in? It's got to be rigged. Just a big, goofy, unattractive, got nothing. Ugh. Anyhow, so CNN, I'm telling you, man, they retracted. Look, so they retracted this, and then during the election, like I said, Donna Brazile had the questions for Hillary before the debate. She was working with CNN at the time. She's a contributor. I mean, come on, for Christ's sake. And how the fuck is the thick-ankle dogface not in jail for all the shit she did, Hillary? Huh? How was fucking, what's her name, Loretta Lynch not in jail, or at least being investigated? What, the Dems can do anything they want? That's how it works? Let's go to Paulie in New York on line 1. Paulie, what's up?
Hey, Nikki. Good show. I like the change up from the crew at 3 o'clock. Good stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Not a very political person at all.
Me either. Just tonight I am.
It's too fucking confusing.
Yes, it is.
Just out of control, but I'm glad you got a good handle on it, it seems. And I like a lot of the stuff you're spraying. And I love that dude that just called his mama Polak. That was fucking...
Oh, that's Chris from Syracuse. He's the MVP right now.
We got to have Chris call back in a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just sitting there, with all this immigration stuff and, banned countries, and the guy from Toronto saying, why don't we have like a Hunger Games lottery to get into this country, and have, the countries, put their applications in, and, we get to choose based on the best looking, the smartest people.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that?
Yeah, I agree. And I mentioned a few minutes ago that I thought, I said, well, we need these very bright people from all over the world. But you know what? We don't need them right now because we've been letting 1 million to 2 million people in every year for the last, I don't know how many years. I'm for a moratorium on all of it. And I know I'm not the first person to say this, but I really think enough right now. Shut the fucking gates on everybody and let the people who came here, let them assimilate before we let more people in. Is that possible? Or is that racist?
Who do we talk to?
I don't know. I called my agent. There's nothing he can do.
Shocking.
Yeah, exactly. He can't even get me into certain clubs, never mind country.
Exactly.
All right.
So, all right, Bubba. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, Paulie. You just called me Bubba.
He did.
Oh, my God. He must have been like a love sponge guy. Think so? I don't know how to make a restaurant. Anyhow, our buddy, who's becoming less of my buddy, Pete Dominic. But Christ's sake, I gave this guy a couple breaks after he stole bits from me. But he's all excited today because he was mentioned on the Rush Limbaugh show. I guess he was doing a show on HLN. That's channel 203 or 4, DirecTV. And isn't HLN or was that Woman's Network? Isn't that the one every time I walk in, my wife's watching a show about, women, how they kill their husbands, and she's jotting stuff down on a legal pad, and I find a list on the refrigerator: duct tape, rat poison, Nick's favorite sandwich meat. What? What's that?
You got it on your monitor.
Rush Limbaugh attacked me on his show. This is the greatest honor of my career. And that's true. Because I thought his greatest honor was hosting at Levity Live on a Wednesday midnight show. But but Pete says, this is the greatest honor of my career. And he's not kidding. Anyways, he was talking to this woman on the show. She's the host, Susan Hendricks. And they brought up the Johnny Depp thing and remember Johnny Depp said, has an actor assassinated, who's the last actor assassinated a president? And so she started to push back. I guess Pete was kind of defending the guy. And she said, let's be honest, when Lincoln was assassinated, the assassin was an actor on the stage. Johnny Depp can now reach millions of people at his little music festival in the UK. He's part of the Disney franchise with these pirate movies. So Depp's words are much more serious than anything, say, John Wilkes Booth could have said back in the day. And then Pete said, I'm going to argue that Johnny Depp doesn't really influence people. People like Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity. And then the host said, but Pete. And then Pete said, and commentators. She said, but Pete. And then Pete said, they say these kind of things. And then Susan Hendricks said, he may not influence you, meaning Johnny Depp may not influence you, but there are people out there like James Hodgkinson, that's the guy who shot the Republicans on the ball field, who did open fire at a baseball practice, and Steve Scalise almost died if it wasn't for the congressional police officers there. And then Pete Dominic says, I'm sorry, but James Hodgkinson didn't try to assassinate Republicans because he was a fan of 21 Jump Street or some actor. That was a Johnny Depp thing project. And then the host said, I know, but words from, and then Pete said, comedians saying something. It's absurd to think. And Hendricks said, someone as famous as Johnny Depp could affect people out there and influence them, which of course they can. I was influenced by the Boston Bruins as a kid. Seriously. No, you don't like that analogy?
No, they were agreeing.
In the 70s, they were known for fighting and brawling. So every time that we played a street hockey game with another neighborhood, we would end up in a brawl. Every week. Don't tell me it doesn't influence. And I thought Rush Limbaugh made a good point by saying, of course, guys like Johnny Depp have influence on people. Like the guy that did the shooting, this Hodgkinson guy. He was a big fan of Rachel Maddow, Bill Maher, John Oliver, and, and if you look at his crazy letters he wrote to the editor. So, of course. But Pete was thinking just specifically Johnny Depp, I guess. But there's so many people on the margins out there mentally, and I'm hoping to tip one over on our side. not with his, I don't want to shoot anybody, but just something. Something. Go to, what's Feinstein? What's her first name? Senator Feinstein?
Rachel.
Yeah. Go to, Edgar Carr. No, Rachel, that's a comedian.
I know. Diane.
Diane Feinstein. Whatever. Go to Adam Schiff's house and when he's coming out, hit him in the back of the legs with a wiffle ball bat real hard. I did that to a fat kid when it was like 11 degrees. A little bit of bullying. I wasn't proud of that one. I feel bad about some of the shit I did, but I got smacked around by a kid bigger than me. I digress. But I'm just saying, I want to see a little pushback on the right, other than guys like me defending. But Pete, I laugh at Pete putting that up on Twitter. It's the honor. By the way, I have a book signed by Rush Limbaugh, actually. Colin Quinn got it. Quinn met him somewhere. But again, why would Quinn be? I don't know. He must have been doing comedy at some type of event. But Rush put in my book something like, "You're almost too right-wing for me," or too something. Anyways. By the way, that guy's been on for what? 35, how many years? Never had a guest. You can't argue with his success. I don't know how to make a restaurant. Larry in Alabama. He's been waiting quite a while. Larry, I'm sorry. You had quite a traffic jam with calls here tonight. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, Mr. Dipaolo, and don't worry about it because I get to listen to the show and I'm on hold. That's what I do anyway, so it's no big deal.
Oh, I thought we had some elevator music for you, but that's good.
No. I actually hear the show. That's what I hear. So it works for me.
All right.
Well, you're talking about all these decisions, all the courts interspersing themselves as a point of history. Ever since Marbury versus Madison, the courts have tried to seize power in this country and set themselves up as oligarchs. And turn
this how do we stop that, Larry?
Well, you stop it by figuring out through a convention of the states how to rein in the courts' usurpation of power. Because you have right now 9 unelected, appointed for life lawyers in black robes who have themselves up as the final arbiter of everything in our nation.
Yeah.
The Constitution clearly leaves the Justice Department and prosecution of all crimes in the sole hands of the executive branch. The foreign policy is the sole purview of the President of the United States. And as the Commander-in-Chief, he is the head of the chain of command, and in nowhere is any other branch of government interspersed in the chain of command. The President is in sole charge of the military as Commander-in-Chief, but the courts seek to constantly interpose themselves as the final arbiter of all.
Larry, describe what did you say? What was the term? Nation of a convention? A convention of nations?
No, the Convention of the States is a mechanism by which the states call a constitutional convention to popular vote on referendum, and a supermajority of the states, I believe the number is the supermajority of the states, can say that they want a convention to throw the Constitution open, and then any changes would have to be ratified by a supermajority of the states themselves, is the way the Constitution was originally ratified.
So do we really want to throw open the Constitution? Do you believe it's a living, breathing thing, or is it set in stone, Larry/Rennie?
No, the Constitution is set in stone.
Right.
It is not a living, breathing document. The Constitution's set in stone. It's supposed to be set in stone. Only through the courts and progressives on the courts has the Constitution became a breathing document. It is not a breathing document.
And you know what? They don't feel that way about a six-week-old fetus. Isn't that ironic?
I know that. And every abortion results in the murder of a child. But please, for your own safety and your own sake, Mr. Dipaolo, do not get me started. Because...
go ahead. Sorry.
I can't help it. I listened to too much political talk radio, and in my truck, I didn't realize I was sitting on my soapbox. I apologize to you and your audience.
No. You are a well-informed. Let me tell you, I don't know what kind of truck you drive. I'm guessing there's books in it, because I have never talked to a truck driver this well-informed.
Well,
no offense. I'm just saying.
I love to read history, and on a serious note,
yes, sir.
There's a great book called Miracle in Philadelphia, written in the 60s about the Constitutional Convention.
No, it's about the Flyers, isn't it, when they won the Cup?
Oh, no, it's not about the Broad Street Bullies, because that wasn't until 67. And I don't want to hear nothing about the Broad Street Bullies. Penguins, baby, Penguins. You've got to focus on.
All right.
That's what you've got to focus on. Now, when I was stationed in Massachusetts in the winter, you had to be careful what bar you went into, because if you interrupted the absolute pin drop silence when the Bruins were on, you might not survive.
That's absolutely the truth in the 70s. Hey, Larry, I have to take another call here, but thank you for setting us straight.
No problem, Mr. Dipaolo, but I can't recommend that read, Miracle in Philadelphia, more highly. It reads almost like a novel.
All right.
The Constitutional Convention. It is a great, great read. Available on Amazon, by the way. Miracle in Philadelphia. Thank you, Mr. Dipaolo.
You got it, Larry, anytime. I think, I don't want to blow his cover, but that's a guy, a comic. I'm not going to say his name, or should I? I don't know if I should say it or not. He's a guy I met when I first moved to New York. And he was the protege of William Kunstler. I think, I might be off on this. Kunstler was a big, kind of a civil liberties titan, left-wing radical lawyer. And this guy was a comedian that I know, very funny. So he would always do political shit. It was so inside and so political that every night he'd get like silence on a lot of them, a lot of jokes. But people who had half a mind and followed politics were laughing, you know. But again, I'm not even sure it's him, but I think it is. But he said this. I was watching him one night at Catch Your Rising Star. He's dying the death of 1,000 cuts, right? And then there's an Asian girl standing against the wall, a very beautiful Asian girl. And he's dying up there, and just the girlfriend's laughing. She's the only one laughing. He goes, that's my girlfriend. I taught her 4 words in English. Not you, crowd suck. This is how funny this guy was. But he'd be up there talking about, I mean, literally, like stuff that went down in the Senate that day, how the votes broke, and people would, you know, but he would make it funny. And he did the Tonight Show. Again, if this is him, if not, I'm wasting all of my breath here. He also did the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And they told him not to do something, and he did it anyways. That's a comic, man. And he was far left, if this is the guy I'm talking about. I don't know his politics today, but he always made me laugh because I can laugh at people that are different than me politically. That's what makes me special. Anyhow, so we gave Pete Dominic some more ink, even though he called me racist. Joke thief, calls me racist. I mean, what else can I do for you? But I'd be thrilled too if Rush mentioned me. Did you guys know this? Enjoying regular sex. You're like, well, what does that mean? Well, this is what. Enjoying regular sex, we have 3 minutes. Okay, I'll set it up. Can help prevent heart disease. Ooh, somebody's taking a real pounding over there. Andy? Anyways, if you enjoy regular sex, it helps prevent heart disease. Sex has been linked to the reduction in men's homocysteine levels, a harmful chemical found in the blood which can trigger life-threatening cardiac problems.
I've never had pains like this before. Oh, this is the worst one I ever had, son. Oh, it's the worst one. This is a big one. I'm dying. You hear that, Elizabeth? I'm coming to join you.
Enjoying regular sex can help reduce the risk of developing heart disease. But the news isn't so great for women, for once. Research found having sex several times a week can slash levels of homocysteine in men, whereas women benefit far less from regular run. Yeah, we heard you say that the first sentence, you fucks. The harmful chemical is found in the blood and can trigger potential life-threatening cardiac problems. It's thought men getting regular sex often have better circulation and healthier blood vessels. This is crucial for preventing a buildup of homocysteine. But scientists say women benefit much less. Again, what horrible writing. Because sexual arousal is less dependent on having a healthy blood flow and more on what the guy drops in a drink. What? Who said that? No.
Put the turkey in and put it and drown the Diet Coke.
You can this article says you can lower your cholesterol by fucking if you're a guy. And I'll tell you, my wife's caught me lowering my cholesterol a couple times. Imagine you walk in, some broad's giving you head. What are you doing? I'm trying to fucking stay healthy for you. What's it look like? What's it look like I'm doing? What's it look like I'm doing?
Liar, whore, and you know it.
You can lower your cholesterol by having sex. So does that include yanking it? You know what I mean? I know that burns calories. I read that in Esquire magazine. Johnny Depp did it for the pirate role. 400 calories. Anyhow, I want to hear from you guys when I come back. Anybody who I don't know. How do you lower your? I want to hear if you get caught. It has nothing to do with your cholesterol and sex. I'd like to hear some ideas on where you get caught having sex and lowering your. Let's call it lowering your cholesterol if your girlfriend caught your wife. And do you believe any of this shit? 866-969-1969. Back after this. It's just reading an article. Again, it comes out of the UK, so take it for those papers over there. It's always some crazy shit. But they say the guys that are having sex, it'll prevent heart disease. I mean, how so? Okay. It lowers something in your blood, a harmful chemical that can trigger, heart attacks and what not. It's homocysteine. And, so if you're banging away, that goes down in your blood. But again, I asked the question, what if you're doing it manually on your own? Do you get the same effects? So I called somebody who would know that, and it was Larry King. Hello, Larry, you're on the... I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. The chemical is a vital building block of proteins and occurs naturally in the body. One previous study found intercourse twice a week halved a man's chances. That's halved, like cut in half, folks. It halved a man's chances of clogged arteries compared to those indulging less than once a month. So Dick Cheney apparently wasn't getting nothing. Trying to think of somebody else with a bet. Wait a minute. Now Bill Clinton breaks it goes against the theory here. Clinton was getting all kinds of tang, getting a humzinger under the table in the Oval Office, and this guy had to have his heart rebuilt. So there goes that theory. But I'd like to hear from you people out there who don't get laid and have high cholesterol, or reverse that. I got a story about Tebow. I'm going to get to that tomorrow. I think it's better we save Tebow tomorrow. People picking on a Christian. That takes a lot of balls, huh? Wow. A lot of balls. But, yeah, so have a lot of sex, fellas. And apparently the women, it doesn't help out that much. I'm sure there'll be a feminist group picketing, saying that that's not right, that blood equality should be the same. And what was his name? Detweiler? What was the hateful professor? The titless wonder who was an expert on breastfeeding? That was kind of ironic, huh? I'm an expert on huge cock. There's some irony there. What kind of talk is that? Well, it's radio talk. It's faction talk. Jimmy in Memphis, how are you? Welcome to the show, Jimmy.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm telling you, Jimmy, I'm having the time of my life making mediocre money. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I was calling to say, like, what happens if you're having a threesome? Would that make it even higher of, like, you burn 2 times the amount of cholesterol?
Let's think about this, Jimmy. How about if you hit?
And also, wouldn't Mick Jagger live till he's like 175?
Well, who says he isn't? I mean, he doesn't look a day over 136. I mean, but that's actually a good point. Jagger's not going to die. But how about if? But how about if you're with a dirty hooker who has Hep C and shit? Does it cancel out the? I mean, you're having sex, but she just got a tattoo on her labia by a guy in the parking lot of an A&P.
And what happens if you're eating a bacon cheeseburger while you're doing it? Does that cancel it out, or?
I think we beat this horse into the ground, Jimmy. All good points, Jimmy. I guess what you can take away is get out there, get laid. I'm sure married guys are going to die a lot sooner if any of this is true, depending.
Yeah, but, I'm always, I try to chase pussy as much as I can.
Yeah, do you ever catch it?
Sometimes, yeah, if I get lucky.
All right, Jimmy. Thanks for the call. Gotta love Memphis, don't you? When I have sex, I like to. This is the song that gets my wife aroused. She's parked. I put on a headdress. I come in the bedroom. I come in with a headdress on. And I have that flaming arrow, just like the guy at Florida State at the beginning, and I stick it right in the shag carpeting. That's right, I said shag carpeting. And then I run out of the room bare ass. I don't even fuck her. She just gets turned on by that. And if she's good, I'll hit her with a tomahawk. Oh, I run out of there. I don't do anything to her, but I'm dressed like an Indian. She lays there going,
Tried! I did the best I could! What about me? What am I supposed to do?
Oh, goodness gracious, Heloise. Let's go to Mark on line 3. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Nick. Listen, I found when I was chasing pussy that I had really good, healthy heterocysteine levels.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But now that I'm sucking cock, I got great homocysteine levels. So it really worked out well.
Well, good for you, Mark. It's terrific. I like women personally. You got it, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the wind out of this. Oh, good.
You smug cocksucker. Fuck you.
Hey, watch your mouth, Dr. Melfi. I don't know. I smoked a lot of cigarettes today. I'm starting to get into the, I told you I'd have one sometimes. It usually was right after I worked out. Every once in a while I have one before I work out, just so I have something to cough up. But now, I had like 4 or 5 this morning after I didn't work out either. Unless you call making, bacon and eggs working out. But I said, I love where I live. I'm sitting nude on my front steps, bare ass, with a nice cigarette. Huh? Sure, there's like especially kid kind of. He's not right in his head that lives across the street. And I thought I saw him looking out the window. But I kept smoking anyways. Gave the kid a little show. Oh, my God. What am I talking about? Cholesterol levels. I've always been on the high side a little bit, but that's exaggerated too, by the way, folks. You know who told me that? Gutfeld. Who would know more than... He used to write an article, actually, help. But, they sell pills. That Lipitor shit, they make trillions. Oh, you're 280, 290. So what? Some people, like Norm Macdonald, his was over 400. I remember Letterman's, too. Letterman was like around 380 or something. Then he goes, it's because I was eating sticks of butter on the way to work. Letterman. Yeah, God. But I got to believe in... I didn't know. Had you ever heard of this chemical in your blood?
No.
Never heard of it. Here's when I stopped listening to this type of advice, and about a year and a half ago. My whole life I've been hearing how omega-3 fatty acids, salmon, best thing in the world for your prostate if you're a guy, right? That's all I've been hearing. And then I read an article saying it might be bad for you. That's when I said, now they're just fucking with our heads. You know what I mean? And to prove it, I went out and ate a hooker I found behind a dumpster in the Bronx. Stephen Queens, your thoughts?
Funny stuff. Hey, what's up, Nick?
How you doing, Stevie?
All right, brother. Well, I'm into health, taking supplements and stuff. And I've always heard of homocysteine, like the levels being elevated. It's not good. But I think, Nick, you said you haven't heard of this before, but to me it's general thinking. It's just like a hug. It lowers the stress levels, and it's all tied in.
Yes.
And I think, with sex, I'm not trying to be funny here. It's when the women, it says it doesn't help the women, probably because the guy's the only one getting released. You know what I mean? And I'm not. I don't know.
Speak for yourself. Hey, speak for yourself, Steve. When I get done with my bitches, they can't even walk. They are just tired, man. I wear the motherfuckers out. No, I had never, Steve, I had never heard of a homocysteine. I'd never really heard that phrase.
Yeah, I couldn't define it, but I have read over the years that it's a cause of certain issues in the body, inflammation or whatever. I don't know. I mean,
right.
I'm guessing, but I heard it's elevated levels is not good for you. So I think with sex, getting a hug, maybe massage. I don't know. It's all related to lowering stress levels.
Yes. No, you're right. You're actually making good points. But I'd rather, I think, a hand job than a hug. You know what I mean?
I'm with you on that, man.
All right, Stevie boy.
Take care, Nick. Thanks.
Thank you for the call. I just had never heard specifically. Maybe I have so much information in my head, but I had never, I don't know how to make a restaurant. When, I used to date a girl from, she was from the Middle East. She was from Qatar. And when I would really put her to her and she came, she'd fucking go,
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
She would yell that. Really? Can you imagine? Oh, for Christ's sake, folks, if it's the funniest show on Channel 103 from 6 to 8 p.m. in the East, I don't know about it. 866-969-1969. 866-969-1969. I want to hear from some fat dude out there whose cholesterol is through the roof, yet he still gets laid, whether you pay for it or not.
Well, what would you like to know?
Andy, your thoughts. God damn it, Andy beat me to it. Flowers beat me to it. Look, every time I look at CNN, it just said, under this new health care bill, 22 million people will be uninsured. That's true if they choose to be uninsured. You lying motherless fucks. You keep repeating that. Okay? Apparently you don't need health care. If you fuck enough, you're going to lower all your fat levels, cholesterol, your heart. But they keep putting that up there. CNN has to be disbanded. Somebody that lives in Atlanta set that place to goddamn blaze. With silly string. Let me clarify that. I want to get in trouble. I'm waiting. You know how like Ann Coulter goes to a book signing and somebody throws a pie in her face? I want to see Adam Schiff. You know, me get hit with a cruller. Anybody? Well, I'm going to use this as an excuse when I have a physical and my cholesterol's still up there and say to the wife, this is your fault. You're sitting there watching fucking Friends reruns. I'm downstairs planning tomorrow's show. Hey, Zach in Pittsburgh went to a fine stand-up comedy show last Friday night. Zach, tell us about the show.
Hey, the show was great. It was the greatest thing, I think, was the surprise guest set by your boy there, Robert Kelly, man. He just totally killed.
Well, why was he a surprise guest set? I love Bobby.
He wasn't on the flyer or the advertisement. The host came out and said, hey, we've been trying to get him for years to come out for the DVE Comedy Fest. You guys demanded it, and then right before Colin came on, he comes out. Yeah, good 25-minute set, just kills. So, what was the festival? That's the local morning rock station, WDVE. The past 6 or 7 years, they do the DVE Comedy Festival. So. And this year, Colin headlined it. So who else? Colin.
I did see this.
Colin had mentioned it to me actually on the phone from Pittsburgh. He was calling me from the DoubleTree Inn. So it was him, Bob Kelly, and who else? Rachel Feinstein, right?
Yeah, Rachel, and then Billy Crawford from the morning show. Very funny stand-up local guy was there, did an opening set.
Okay.
That's the first time I got to see. Also, Kevin Brennan was on it, correct?
Oh, so a bunch of happy guys.
Yeah. When Billy Crawford, Kevin Brennan, Rachel, Robert, and then Colin.
That's a nice lineup. Good for you.
That's one hell of a lineup.
Yeah.
And definitely, that's the first time I got to see Rachel live. And I tell you what, at first I was excited. I might have live mental, picks for the Spank Bank, but then I think she stole the show. She stole the show? I think she stole the show, and in the future, she doesn't get booked. I don't think it's because the industry discriminates against women. It's probably because they're afraid she'll be more funny than them.
No kidding.
So she killed. She had a great set, yeah.
No kidding. Well, good for her. Good for everybody.
Definitely.
Sounds like everybody terrific.
And I think I finally figured out why Colin Quinn may be the greatest stand-up ever.
Why is that?
I mean, I've seen him live multiple times. I've seen all his specials. But I jotted out some notes. In about 25 minutes and 34 seconds, all logical segues and full sentences go out the window, yet everybody's still laughing. I don't even know we knew what he was saying, but we're still all laughing. We're dying. So, yeah.
Colin is brilliant, and hey, thanks for that report, Zach. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, you guys. Love you guys. Talk to you later.
Take care, pal. See that? He said he loved us. A couple guys have said that. I don't get that from my family anymore. They go, when are you going back to New York? You're getting on our nerves. And I go, for Christ's sake, I've been here for 45 minutes. Please come to Pittsburgh, she said. And so apparently Rachel Feinstein knocked the shit out of the crowd. I'm going to have to see it to believe it. Don't mean to be sexist. I know she does a lot of character work, like her mother doing a Jamaican or some type of stuff. Always funny when I've seen her. Just saying, it's a heavy line up there. What's Trump talking about now? Trump tearing apart Obama's legacy, one policy at a time. Good. And that's on CNN, by the way. That
can reduce the symptoms of...
What are you doing, Andy?
I was going to put Trump on.
Oh, were you? That's all right. I'll tell you to do that.
All right.
Fucking Flowers. He wants his own show so bad, it's killing him. Oh, come on. We'll get you one here.
My own show.
You can talk about cooking with Roland. Please come to Denver, she said no.
You stupid fucking blabbermouth cunt!
Take it easy, Uncle Junior. Agitated. Kenny in South Carolina, line 2. Kenny, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Hey, I was just gonna say, I'm down here in South Carolina. Like, I'm a Christian still. That still seems pretty prevalent down here. But
Sure.
It almost seems like the liberal, PC whole bullshit, like you're talking about with CNN, is like taking the place of how people used to not ever say anything bad about religion, or like they just kind of, oh, you don't say anything about that, or like you'd be a bad person if you said something about that.
Kenny,
Yeah,
go ahead, Ken. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it just seems to me like that's almost like taking the place of it, because it seems like a lot of people don't care as much about religion and stuff, and that now it's like you're a bad person if you talk about, PC shit, whatever it be,
Yeah, well, tomorrow I'm actually going to talk about that tomorrow because Tim Tebow played in a minor league game in South Carolina, and they were kind of
in my hometown.
Yeah,
Columbia,
yeah, and apparently the mascot and the other team was kind of poking fun at him, and you never do that. If fucking Muhammad was leading off and playing shortstop, nobody would fucking do that. And but let me ask you something, Kent. Do you have a lot of sex? What's your cholesterol level?
I don't even know my cholesterol level. But yeah, I mean, I get laid. I'm in my early 30s, but I get my fair share.
Good for you.
Well, not as much as I used to, but
you got to lie to the girls. You got to tell it's going to lower their cholesterol, and then you just
exactly.
You got
to. So I didn't mean to. I now got a new line. What's your cholesterol, baby?
Here you go. What's your cholesterol? If she says it's over 180, we got to bring that down. Get in the back of my van. What I like to do is I have a van, and I pretend I wear a fake cast on my arm, and I pretend I'm trying to lift a couch into the van. You ever seen this? Ted Bundy did this. This is actually what Ted Bundy used to do, by the way. Thank you, Kent, thank you for the call, Kent.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it. Kent had the energy of a paraplegic underwater. Holy Christ. I don't know. I got laid a little bit. I got to suck a punch of broad here and there, but get me some pussy somehow. Ever do that? You put a fake cast on, you get a van. That's what Ted Bundy did. Am I confusing my serial killers?
Well, that's exactly what they did in Silence of the Lambs. Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, it was James Gumb from Buffalo Bill for Silence of the Lambs.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
But I think
Bundy could have done that too. That's might have where they got it from.
That's what I'm saying. I think they might have got it for him. I know my cousin used to do it, and only he had a smart car and he didn't.
Yeah, she was a big girl, sir.
You can tell Jodie Foster's way she delivered that. She was a mess, just fuming. Yeah, she was. You're a great big fat girl. I do that. I do that guy. I push my prick between my legs and I look in the mirror. My wife caught me in the bathroom. I was like, was she a great big fat girl? And then my wife goes, yeah, she was a big girl. I can clear the phones, huh? I can clear the phones like that. That big thing we're expecting. Everybody's predicting this pulse thing that's going to knock the grid out. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, yeah. It's an explosion over the atmosphere that's going to take down a whole grid. There's a guy on TV, a lot of people on TV talking about it. That's the most dangerous thing that could happen to us. It's the same people who hack and know how to do this shit.
It's like an EMP?
It's an EMP. What's that stand for? Do you know, Brendan?
Electromagnetic pulse.
Thank you. That's right. It's a giant electromagnetic pulse above the atmosphere. And it's going to knock our grid out. And the guy on TV is supposedly an expert. He was an expert on that and breastfeeding. And but he said tens of millions of people will die within months because, you know, the hospital systems go down, your refrigeration goes down. And I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm a little bored with my life, and I bought a shotgun. But yeah, did you ever hear that, Andy?
I have.
So we got that to look forward to. That's coming soon. I think I could survive. Hey, Rob in Long Island says I was right about Ted Bundy. Rob, go ahead.
Nick, I'm out near Riverhead where I've seen you do your gig out there. Ted Bundy did do the couch, but he's trying to have somebody help put it up the old Volkswagen Beetle.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how he convinced them to do that.
I think he had, you know, you're right. He had a Volkswagen Beetle, and did he have a van too when he did the couch?
I don't know if he had a van, but he had his arm in a sling like a cat. Yeah. So he had it all. He had the couch, he had the arm in the sling, he had the Beetle.
Yeah, the girl should have known. The girl should have known when you're trying to get an 8-piece sectional into a fucking Volkswagen Beetle, something.
Totally, I agree.
All right, Rob. Thanks for that serial killer update.
I think he had, you know, you're right, he had a Volkswagen Beetle. Did he have a van too?
I can't understand you, Rob. You got to get a new phone or a new
radio.
Oh, the radio was on. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Ted Bundy was the inspiration for Buffalo Bill.
Oh, for Christ's sake, huh? Now, Brendan's so young that he thought it was just a movie thing. I was around when Ted Bundy was pulling his shit down at University of Gainesville, and he went into a sorority and took out a bunch of, can you imagine how lucky he was to get into a sorority? No, folks, that's not funny. The guy would have a fake cast on and a fucking and furniture. Oh my God, help me! Talk about desperate. That's a lot of effort. You might as well just date legitimately. I gotta go to the furniture store. Pick up. And how do you get a fake cast? That means nothing to anybody, Andy.
I bet it does.
I bet it doesn't.
Q Lazarus?
Goodbye Horses.
It's under Brendan.
What?
This is when he's dancing around.
Yeah, the guy puts his dick between his legs. That guy.
I bet people caught it.
Yeah, I'd say 11 to 12 people caught that. And I've seen that movie 100 times, okay? I don't have the soundtrack in my car. Fucking, he plays it like it's American Pie. Oh, my aching stuff. No, she a great big fat girl.
Oh. She was a big girl, sir.
Yeah, she was a big girl. Yeah, I just said that. That guy, what a juicy role. When can I audition for that? I would love to put my prick between my legs in an audition just to offend the frumpy casting people. By the way, I have no Did I tell you guys real quick about that? What happened in the audition when I got my phone rang a half hour later? Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
We talked about it on Friday.
See, this is what happened. I took Valium last night, by the way. And I took Trazodone, a glass of red wine, and Valium. And it knocked me out for 8 hours, folks. I found the combination. It's the same thing that killed fucking Liza Minnelli. Wait a minute.
I don't think she's dead yet.
No, her daughter, Judy
Garland.
See? It destroyed my mind. But it knocked me out for like 7.5 hours. That's a lot of sleep for a kid like me. I'm down there. Down in my basement like a psych. Big glass of red wine. My wife's Valium. I took the Valium, waited an hour, then took the Trazodone. It's unbelievable. It's a nice feeling. I see why we have so many pillheads in this country. Anyways, folks, I got to wrap it up here soon. But tomorrow I want to talk about how Tebow is treated at the old ball game. And we're going to have Anthony Comey might call in tomorrow, I think. That should be interesting. He's so different than me. And Frank Santarelli, the guy that played Georgie on The Sopranos, the bartender Tony used to whack around, he called me. He wants to be on. I said, come down. I don't want to do it over the phone. So he's going to come to the New York. I don't know when. We're going to set a date. That could be, I don't know, this week, next week, whatever. But we got all that to look forward to, folks. Thanks to all the